I'm Steven.
And I'm Miranda.
And we just saw Spider-Man Brand New Day. Not a brand new day, just brand new day.
Yeah, it's Brand New Day, and I keep mixing it up with Punisher One Last Kill and wanting to say One Last Day.
No. Tom Holland's not that old yet. He's still got 1 or 2 movies left in him. I don't know. He's aged, but he still looks pretty young. They can keep milking him for a long time.
I feel like I think just because of how he is, he looks younger to me in this one than Tobey Maguire did in the first Spider-Man movie he was in.
Yeah. How old was Tobey in that one? Because it's
We've
like
looked it up before, but I don't know.
It's like this 30-year-old man in eyes.
Yeah, he's really giving off 30-year-old man vibes, whereas Tom Holland, a 30-year-old man, is giving off more like 16-year-old vibes.
Yeah. Toby and Andrew Garfield were kind of like baby Billy Freeman in Teenagers. A grown man convincingly playing a teenager. I rather quite enjoyed this movie.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
Okay, what I liked was there's an appropriate amount of humor in this. It wasn't any of the Marvel quips,
I agree. It felt like a balanced amount. It wasn't overdone. It didn't feel shoehorned in. It felt appropriate.
Yeah, it wasn't like in other movies where they have this intense emotional moment and it's like they're afraid to let it breathe, so they instantly had to force a joke in.
Yeah, which I don't like.
No.
And this didn't have that. At least not that I noticed, anyway.
Yeah, no one likes that. That's why Marvel dialogue is an insult. It's like Marvel ass dialogue, parentheses, derogatory.
Yeah.
I would recommend this movie to people. We'll say this, Tom Holland clocks into work. I don't think any of the main cast really phoned it in. Ned seemed a bit weird, though.
Well, we didn't see a whole lot of him compared to previous movies.
Yeah, so who knows? Maybe it was like you do see some glimpses of it, which that mainly happens in the spoiler thing, but...
We're getting into spoilers,
no,
right? We're not getting into spoilers?
We are, but not now. Just general vibes.
Okay, just an overview now. Okay.
Just overview.
You should have specified that.
Yeah, this is just an overview. Then we're going to go into spoilers, and we're going to be like, hey, this is spoilers. If you don't want spoilers, stop now. For the love of God, stop.
But not actually now. This is an example of what will happen.
Yeah, it's an example. When it happens, it'll look like that.
Okay.
Or sound like that.
Sound like that, yeah.
Yeah, because it's a video, but we're not actually on video. Was it better than Spider-Man 3?
What do you mean by Spider-Man 3? Like No Way Home?
Oh, no. Tobey Maguire, Spider-Man 3. If I meant Spider-Man No Way Home, I would have said no.
Well, I thought that's what you meant, but I felt like that's an apples to oranges. I liked it a lot better than Spider-Man 3. But also, I don't feel like I can truly compare any of the Spider-Man movies against each other because they all have a different significance to me. Like, I saw the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies as a child, as a kid who had already loved Spider-Man, and then this was like a more live-action introduction to Spider-Man, and so that was something very special to me, so I watched those with that same nostalgia.
Okay, how would you rank this compared to the other 3 Tom Holland Spider-Man movies? Solo Spider-Man movies. We know that he's been in other movies as Spider-Man. Those don't count. Solo movies only. Go.
I really liked the first 2, and I really liked this one. However, the whole, no one knows who he is a serious frustration to me. Not because, obviously it's an important plot point and you need to have some sort of, tension and frustration for a plot. I don't enjoy this one, though, because I think the whole spell making everyone forget things was completely unnecessary. Like, I don't feel like obviously it had to happen for the plot, but I don't feel like that the reasoning was good. Because I feel like Doctor Strange would have explained to him better what was about to actually happen and make sure he wanted that before he launched into not well enough, I don't think, in my opinion, before he really launched into doing the spell. I feel like he didn't communicate exactly what was going to happen well enough.
I think he communicated exactly what happened. Peter
I
was
disagree.
Just willing to make that sacrifice to protect the people that he loved.
Oh, you're talking about at the end.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the initial spell. that got messed up. The botched spell.
Okay, so you think that if Doctor Strange would have just explained everything
Yeah, I think
the
if
first
he
time
had clearly explained to Peter before starting the spell exactly what was going to happen, I don't think Peter would have gone along with it.
Okay, that was a miscommunication. I thought
like they had.
Yeah, you were talking about the final spell.
No, the final spell, yes, definitely. That was communicated to Peter, and Peter goes along with it. He wants it, in fact. I'm not arguing that. I think the initial spell that gets botched.
Okay. Yeah, we can agree on that.
And again, I know that had to happen for there to be a plot, but it's frustrating to me because it's just not, in my opinion, solid enough. Doctor Strange is a professional.
You haven't seen Multiverse of Madness.
I'm decently familiar with it, though. I still don't think that's something that would have happened. And even if it is something, I think it's bad.
I can agree that it was not well thought out, but I do believe that it is in character for MCU Stephen Strange to just go off half-cocked with magic and then things go sideways. It's kind of the main plot, well, one of the main plot threads in Multiverse of Madness.
Okay, well, I mean, if that's your opinion, I'm not going to argue with that. You get to have that opinion, but...
A mediocre white man has spoken. This is the final word. Would you recommend this movie?
Obviously, yes.
Did you like it better than No Way Home?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, I liked it too. It didn't go the way that I was expecting it to.
Yeah, I had intentionally avoided spoilers, which had been really difficult. I had gotten a few to some degree, not really much though. So yeah, I was going into it pretty much blind. So yeah, there were a lot of things that I didn't expect, and I would recommend it 100%.
Yeah, again, if you've managed to avoid spoilers this far, continue to do so. Going into it blind was the best experience. Did not expect any of the twist. I thought the villains were well used.
I would largely agree with that.
Largely. I think the point that the ones that may not have been well used, we're going to agree on.
Yes.
Okay. Like the characters. I liked seeing a sad boy Peter Parker. That's one thing.
Everyone does.
That's one of the things that I didn't like about the other ones. I want Peter Parker to be beaten down and broken as a man.
Oh yeah, he's like bedraggled wet rat, swollen eyes from crying, struggling in his home that has nothing but like some spices in a cabinet. Love that. Apparently,
in the newer comic books, they've made it to where Peter is more well off and he's just struggling with isolation and, relationship difficulties.
I don't like that. I want him to struggle in pretty much every aspect of his life.
Oh. Okay. I thought this movie was generally good looking. Like there's some janky moments with CGI that I didn't quite like. They broke the immersion for me, but generally it's a good looking movie.
I agree. It was visually good, and I'm not just talking about how caked up Tom Holland is.
Yeah. I as always, the Spider-Man point of view stuff when he's going through the city, where the tracking shots.
Those were good. They gave me the same kind of falling feeling like you have when you fall in Minecraft. Mm-hmm. It was good. I also really liked the shots in the credit scene at the end when it was just doing shots throughout New York. Mm-hmm. I really liked that, where it's just random shots of pigeons. I said pigeons out loud and clapped a little whenever I saw
those. You've been to New York, haven't you?
You know this, yes.
I know. You bring it up constantly. Let's see. I would recommend this. This isn't a spoiler because it's in the trailer. I thought that Tom Holland had very good chemistry with John Bernthal.
Well, they're actually really good friends in real life.
Would you ship them, though? Would you ship Peter Parker?
No, they're both married. Oh, the characters.
Yeah, not... the characters.
The characters, I'm sure there's plenty of fan fiction already doing that without me contributing to anything.
Okay.
But no, I'm not going to ship them.
Okay.
Well, for one thing, I'm not gonna ship Frank with anybody, as fun as it would be, because for his character, it's like with John Wick. You can't. There are so many people who are like, "Wow, we wish John Wick could have a love interest." No, that defeats the whole purpose.
Yeah.
None of this matters anymore if he can just move on.
Fair enough. Yeah, good chemistry. I enjoyed their scenes together. John Bernthal is not my favorite Punisher, just because I like the Punisher to be cold, calculating. John Bernthal is much more yelly. The Punisher, not my thing. I don't care that he doesn't look like how the Punisher should look, and he's not quite as tall as the Punisher should be. On this channel, we lift up short kids. Because otherwise, how are they going to get to the top shelf?
I'm not going to derail here, but I do want to. There are some things I could say here that would be spoilers, but they're on this topic.
Okay. Can you think of anything non-spoiler?
Just general. I think it's fine. I think it's something that you could definitely take your kids to see. The only.
Ooh, I'm going to disagree with that. Like, okay, it depends. How much Xbox Live have your kids been exposed to? Because there's a lot of swearing.
Okay, I didn't even notice any swearing. There was a little that I noticed, but overall, maybe I'm just immune to such. The main thing that I would think might bother kids was okay, I can say this without spoilers. The fight scene. The main fight scene. There were times when I was like, there were some kids in front of us who were around like 6 and 8 probably, and I was thinking, I was concerned for those kids seeing that, especially because of just in the theater, the way the sounds and everything were. I was like, it wouldn't have bothered me as a kid, but some kids might be.
As a kid, I would have thought this movie was awesome.
Oh yeah.
But as a 6-year-old, I had seen Predator, Aliens, Species 1 and 2, Resident Evil, and Saving Private Ryan. So I'd been exposed to way too much at that age. I would have thought it was awesome. I'm just saying that if you're a parent and you're one of those people who wants to keep your kid protected from profanity, it's got some in there. Yeah,
okay. Like I definitely wouldn't say like little kids are the main target audience of this, but it was not like rated R gruesome violence.
No. We talked about this a bit on the ride over. Before our showing of the movie, they had a trailer for the Resident Evil movie, which I'm planning on seeing. Miranda, I think I'm going to pass on that. She's going to pass on that one because she's a bit of a weenie. But I wouldn't
say that's the reason why. But
I'm a sicko. I like horror. I like gore. But I wouldn't want a 6-year-old to see the trailer for that.
No, I was mad that they even played the trailer because they know kids are going to be going to see Spider-Man. There were a good many kids in the theater with us.
There was like a 5-year-old kid with like a Spider-Man t-shirt who in the lobby was like bouncing with excitement, like, we're gonna see Spider-Man. And then like you just see like the Baron from Dune, like, sitting in a sewer, and then, like, this creepy thing with, like, legs crawling out of a building and zombies falling off of rooftops around the main character in the snow, and I'm just like, this looks great. Probably shouldn't let the little see it.
Yeah. I agree. So yeah, I can't think of anything else that's just an overview to get into.
Okay, movie doesn't overstay its welcome. It's about 2 hours and some change. I didn't mind it.
No, I thought it was a good amount of time.
Yeah.
Actually, like, if it had gone on a little bit longer, I would have been fine with it, but I felt like the way it ended was okay.
Okay, so we are now going in to spoilers. If you don't want spoilers, here's your chance to click away. If you stay watching the video, it is your own fault. 3, 2, 1. Jean Grey is in this movie. I was not expecting that.
Okay,
Do you know how difficult it was to hold that in while talking about it? They introduced the X-Men into the MCU.
Yeah, like, as an X-Men lover, whenever they're describing what the powers are like, they're saying, oh, it's not really mind control, it's more like possession. And I'm thinking Jean Grey style powers. But I didn't think it would be Jean Grey. even whenever it's like revealed it looks like a woman, it didn't click that it actually would be Jean Grey, even though I'm thinking about those kinds of powers. And then honestly, whenever they show her in the taxi when she's controlling, or Uber or whatever it is, she's controlling the driver and she's in the back, and you sort of see her profile through the hood and you see the nose and the red bangs, and then it clicks later, it's like, oh, that's Jean Grey. But like, part of why I didn't think it actually would be Jean Grey was because what would her motive be? Like, obviously we were given a motive for her, but initially that was because we know that something is apparently hidden at, what are they called?
The Department of Damage Control.
Yeah, Damage Control.
The assholes in every one of these Spider-Man movies. I was expecting the Man in Purple. Like, okay, Kilgrave, someone with his type of powers. Like, they brought people back from the dead before. And so it's like, is it him? Does he want something? Is it someone else with those kinds of powers? And then it's like, nope, it's Jean Grey. It's the X-Men. Woo! I will say this. I hope they continue to recast the X-Men characters. I don't know how long Hugh Jackman can keep doing this. Did not like Sophie Turner as Jean Grey.
Oh no, I hated Sophie Turner. Actually, is everything I've seen her in. Like, I have nothing against her as a person. Would wish no ill will on her, but I don't like her acting. I don't like the characters she plays. Like, I don't like the way she plays the characters.
Yeah, they're all very, like, stiff.
I never root for them.
Yeah, I root for Sansa Stark, but
I don't.
Here's the thing. I read the books.
That's fair. So you have a different...
I watched the show, so...
Different perspective than I would have.
Different perspective. It's like, okay, maybe they'll get back on track, and they never did. Anyways, we're digressing. I liked Jean Grey being the villain in this. I thought she was very well used. I don't know. I haven't read a lot of X-Men comics, so I don't know if, like, the mind control thing works like that. Like, they can only jump from mind to mind to mind within a certain distance. You would think the main thing that would be important is the distance from the telepath itself, but themselves. But I liked it. I thought it was interesting. I could have used more of the Scorpion. I did not like how they used the hand. Okay,
I couldn't wait to talk about the hand. I was incredibly disappointed in that.
I mean, I know in the Daredevil and Defenders show, the hand that we get isn't, evil ninja clan. Like, Nobu's a ninja, but everyone else is just like a skeezy immortal crime boss. And in this one, it's just like a gaggle of ninjas in bright red. It's like, they don't strike me as a secret society.
Yeah, whenever they're first introduced just in the series of people that Spider-Man has recently taken on, and we were like, is that it? Is that going to be the extent of the hand's involvement in this, just being mentioned? Yeah. So that was disappointing too. It's just completely glossed over, like, oh, the hand. And then whenever they're actually introduced, they're like, oh, well, they were misguided youth who just needed new direction for their energy.
Ninja activities.
Yeah, their activities. And I'm like, okay, so surely that's not the case, and this is just further evidence that I can't think of the name
Department of Damage Control.
Yeah, Damage Control.
The a-holes in every single one of these movies.
Yeah, so I'm like, surely this is just more evidence that Damage Control is sketchy, and they've got the hand working for them. It's not... Surely the hand is not just misguided youth who have turned their lives around.
See, that all Matt Murdock had to do in his show and The Defenders was just have, like, after-school programs to rehabilitate the ninjas.
They're troubled youth, and they're making that everyone else's problem.
Yeah, just rehabilitate the ninjas, which you think would have come to Matt, I'm extremely Catholic Murdock. But no, he solved problems with his fists and his cheeks. And that's no way to save a city, I guess. How did you feel about the Hulk being like a minor villain, kind of mini-boss kind of thing?
I was okay with it.
I was okay with it,
too. Yeah,
like,
I felt like he was well utilized.
Yeah, I did like how at first it was like the shrimpy kind of restrained Hulk. Like, it's Banner, but he's still got his intelligence.
Still has some self-restraint, and then he reaches his full potential.
Yeah. And he becomes the true Hulk that we've seen in Well, have we really seen the Hulk as the Hulk since Thor Ragnarok? Because I think every other time it's been like the Banner Hulk, where, you know, like he's still wearing clothes.
The glasses.
And the glasses, and he's like, when they go back in time and in game and he sees himself, he's just like, ugh, I'm so embarrassed of myself. Meanwhile, we get the Hulk who's just like, ah, no Banner, only Hulk. Ugh. Man, what are your trunks made out of? Like, that is
That's
durable.
a really good question.
That's a durable fact. I knew the Department of Damage Control was going to be sketchy because in every other movie, they're kind of antagonistic. When he goes into the headquarters for the Department of Damage Control, and the Metzger guy is just like, oh, be nice to him. That's Spider-Man. Like, he's a friend. We like our friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. It's like, okay, Metzger, what's your fucking game?
Yeah, they're immediately skeezy.
Yeah, they're immediately skeezy. They're not telling the whole truth, and something just feels off. Like the guy who plays the director of the Department of Damage Control, he strikes me as a very good used car salesman.
Yeah.
So knew something was up with that anyway. The reason why Jean Grey, who, you know, is mainly on the hero side of things, though occasionally she goes off the rocker and, you know, tries to blow up the world, is because the Department of Damage Control has been kidnapping people with powers to try to control them. They got her sister, Sarah, and they experimented on her. Jean is trying to save her sister and will do anything to save her, including forcibly taking over people's minds, which I could kind of see why the government would just be like, oh, no, wait, stop, you can't do that. That's not very cash money of you, Sarah, teaching your little sister how to forcibly invade the minds of other people without their consent. Like,
go ahead.
If someone's just like, hey, Sarah, like, you can take over my body, like, that's different. But no, it's just like, hey, I'm gonna go get us some ice cream. Doop, 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 doop.
I mean, I see why the government wouldn't want you to, but I think that if you had those powers, you should have the right to use them.
Okay, your right to swing your fist ends at my face. So, like, yeah, you have a right to be a telepath and telekinetic. I think that's the word. I don't think you can take over people's bodies without their permission.
Oh, I agree with that.
Yeah. How would Sarah be able to use her powers? The right to be able to
I'm just saying, like, the government shouldn't take you for it.
I can agree with that. You shouldn't just be like, whoa, we gotta put you in a cell because of, you know, just who you are.
Yeah, something that's beyond your control.
Yeah, but if you're out there and you're like,
oh yeah, I don't think you should use it for your personal gain, just like any other powers you might have.
Yeah.
Well, your personal gain that's at someone else's expense.
I agree with that. So, the opening scene of the movie is Spider-Man trying to take down a stolen tank. The Punisher is also there. He doesn't really do much in that situation except try to blow up the tank, which, why is the Punisher trying to blow up a tank?
I really want to talk about the Punisher in this. I was really disappointed with their depiction of the Punisher. I'm a huge Punisher fan, and it felt like a caricature of the Punisher.
You're wearing a Punisher shirt as we record this right now.
Yes, like I mean, we've already touched on a little bit about some of the reasons why people don't love Jon Bernthal as the Punisher and this like version of the Punisher. Yeah, which that's a whole story for another video because there's a lot that goes into why people don't like him as the Punisher. And again, in this version of the Punisher, which I think he's okay. I think all of the different actors who have played the Punisher, I think all of them have good qualities. Again, that's a topic for another video. I felt like this wasn't
cinematic universe.
I felt like this was not really in line with the character that they have created him to be in the past. Again, it's like that, but over the top. It was cringy. It felt like, okay, I just kept thinking every time they would show him, you probably haven't seen this, but like they've added the Punisher to Fortnite, and I keep seeing videos of the Punisher character doing the little Fortnite dance. And it looked like that, genuinely. It reminded me of that almost the whole time. I think that the best scene with him was the dialogue where he's explaining to Peter that, you know, if he still had the people he cared about, he wouldn't be hiding. I felt like that was really good.
Mhm.
I felt like that was important to the plot, and I felt like it was natural dialogue for the Punisher to have. The rest of it was kind of cringy.
I don't think Frank Castle would take off in the Punisher mobile, especially as they've depicted him in the MCU, like the shows and everything so far. Would just see a tank like rampaging through and just be like, I'm gonna get in my Punisher mobile with a grenade launcher, which, by the way, why were the cops just letting him hang around? Like, he's the Punisher. He's a wanted vigilante. He's killed thousands of people at this point.
Yeah, it didn't make sense.
Yeah.
In his black van full of Rampage.
Yeah. Rampage! I would have actually enjoyed the Punisher being in this movie a lot less.
I was really looking forward to it, and it was not what I was expecting. It didn't live up to it. I had already seen, of course, the scene that's been in the trailer of basically the whole van scene in the beginning.
Yeah.
Nearly that whole scene is in the trailer, or at least some of the trailers I had seen. So, and I already seeing that felt like it wasn't really...
The Punisher?
Yeah, the Punisher is the character they've made him out to be previously.
Yeah.
So... yeah, I didn't love that.
Yeah, didn't love that. I, for one, totally think that the Punisher would just try to fucking snipe a teenage girl with a Barrett 50 cal from over a kilometer away. That seems like very off-brand for Frank Castle.
Yeah.
The Hulk was fun. Could have stood for less Punisher. They did get a little bit of Aunt May in there. I thought just the right. In the comic books, is Peter, like, immune to telepathy? Do you know?
I don't know, but there's so many Spider-Man comics that I think it's kind of like Superman. There are so many different things that have happened that pretty much anything can be canon.
Yeah, and
so I don't actually know.
I did enjoy Peter's scenes with MJ and Ned. I would have liked more Ned interactions.
I did think that the last Ned interaction was really good.
Yes.
Especially because whenever MJ had initially found out that Peter was Spider-Man, and you know, it's a big deal to her and Ned that she found out first. Mm-hmm. And now he's the one who has put it together first. I feel like that's nice. Since he apparently does remember Peter. Like, he's completing the handshake by the end of it and then says Peter. So he's apparently at least figured out, you know, not that he's Spider-Man, but he's figured out that that's his friend.
Yeah.
I was going to say something along those lines and I completely forgot. The rooftop scene whenever he's tried to save MJ and she's been taken over. So when that happened, because, you know, she starts approaching him and is saying, you know, as if she's figured this out and hasn't forgotten, or hadn't forgotten, but has remembered. And I'm like, this can't be happening yet. It's like, she has to be controlled. There's no way at this point, like this early in the movie, she's figured this out. Mm-hmm. Surely not. But then I'm like, we do have some, I feel like, not necessarily foreshadowing, but sort of so. Mm-hmm. In the last one, whenever she says something about, you know, I figured it out before, I'll figure it out again, right before their memory's wiped. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, maybe she is figuring it out again, and that's foreshadowing. And then right before it's apparent that it's not her, like right before that's revealed, the guy in front of us, it clicked for him, and like he covers his face with his hands.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I thought that was a really good scene.
Yeah, it was.
Like, that had a lot of tension and emotion.
Yeah, and then Peter's face is, he's like, you son of a bitch, get out of her. Just like, oh, will do. Save me, Peter. And it's like, oh, gee, you turd.
Yeah. A classic terrible thing that would happen to Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So how did you...
her neck wasn't snapped.
That's true, yeah. But I mean, that's not the only classic terrible thing that can happen to Spider-Man. I just associate Spider-Man with bad things happening to him. Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, I love Spider-Man. I don't want bad things to happen to him, but I do feel like we see, like, some of the best parts of the character when he's suffering. Mm-hmm. So how did you feel about his increased arachnid DNA?
Oh, I liked it.
I did too.
I liked spider puberty. It's okay, Peter. Sometimes you wake up and there's mysterious white fluids all over your stuff. It happens.
Maybe you should cut that out.
No.
Maybe you should.
It's staying in. It's a natural part of puberty. Your body's changing. It's
Listeners,
a beautiful process.
you should probably know that when Steven and I were first dating, we were in a thrift store and saw a book that was titled something about young men's changing bodies, and we've referenced it ever since.
Yeah, it's a beautiful and natural thing, Peter. You're going through spider puberty. You've been but a spider boy, and now you're a Spider-Man, welcoming a brand new day of adulthood. I know it kind of varies from continuity to continuity, the web shooters versus the organic spinneret and silk gland. My only thing is that I like the manufactured web shooters a lot more, because that explains why he has so much web better than the organic silk gland, because I mean, he uses a lot of web. Yeah. So can you imagine how much food he has to eat just to keep them silk glands full?
A lot, I would imagine.
A lot.
He's got to eat a lot to maintain that physique anyway, though.
Yeah, he does. Spider-Man's ripped in this one.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, they make it a very clear point that Peter does not have a very good work-life balance going on. He's like Spider-Man 24/7. All he does is sit around at his computer looking for crime. He will train to fight crime, and he'll talk on the phone to a detective about fighting crime. I do like how they kept the, you should be very afraid when Spider-Man goes quiet, because he's usually quippy. Mm-hmm. And here, when he's having the first growing pains of his spider puberty, his eyes go black, and he stops talking, and he just starts ripping and tearing, and he almost kills a cop in there. Is Spider-Man woke now? I like that, because he's not talking crap to the spider. He's just straight up trying to kill a poor mind-controlled man. And Jean's like, wait, you can't, because it's not actually the Scorpion. It's Jean Grey using his body in his suit. And Jean's like, you can't sense me now. What's going on? How did you feel about that Ted Lasso-ass finale with Jean Grey?
What do you mean?
Just instead of like going in there and punching the main bad guy, Spider-Man's just like, let's have a chat.
I liked it.
Yeah, let's have a chat. You was smart, you was kind, you was special, and you're not alone. And then Jean Grey just starts crying.
Yeah, I thought it was appropriate because they're both young people. They're roughly the same age and have experienced similar things. So it made sense.
Yeah, it made sense. I like it. I like that there wasn't a giant blue sky beam. It was just a girl who was upset at the government for trying to kidnap her to create mind control devices.
Yeah.
Understandably. Like, that's fair motivation. Like, you bastards killed my sister, which Jean is like hacking into DODC like mainframes and looking for VMAX. What's VMAX? And everyone's like, shit, dog, I don't know. And then when Damage Control has her in the chair and they're torturing her and experimenting on her to try to hype up her powers and figure out how they work, she looks up, in agony, and she notices that the vent above her has Vent Max, but the label is kind of torn.
Yeah, it's peeling off. So you can see the last three letters, but you mostly just see the V in Vent. Yeah. So VMAX. So
VMAX. And then it clicks with her. It's like, oh, they're talking about making it seem like Sarah's in the past tense, which is never a good sign when you're looking for a missing person.
Yeah.
And the last thing I heard from her was a telepathic whisper, VMAX. And it's like, oh, my sister told me the last thing she saw. And that really sets her off, understandably. All of the safeguards that they put in place on her powers come crumbling down, which is a very Jean Grey thing to happen. Charles, I don't know if you're in the, main MCU timeline yet, but just take note of that if you are. And she freezes everyone in a kilometer radius, which... Would Frank Castle use the term kilometer?
This version of Frank Castle wouldn't, because he wouldn't even drive a car that wasn't American made. remember.
Yeah, that just sounded weird to me when I heard that.
Yeah.
And just keeps them trapped in a, prison of their own bodies, unable to move or do anything. So yeah, good movie. I enjoyed it. If you've somehow not seen the movie, but you're watching through to the spoiler thing, just don't sit around for the end scene. We sat through 5-10 minutes of credits.
Not that many, I don't think.
It was a lot of
credits. It did seem excessive, but I think that was partly because the music was not the typical credits music.
No, the music sucked.
I wouldn't say it sucked. I just didn't feel like it was appropriate. I don't think it sucked. That's pretty extreme.
And then there was just stuff, it's like, oh yeah, we've got to thank the executive of the office of Mr. Feige, the assistant to Mr. Feige, and we've got to thank Quebec. I have never thanked Quebec a day in my life.
You've probably never had a reason to.
And I never will.
Well, they obviously thought they did have a reason to. I don't have a problem with credits existing. I think you should thank people who help with things and participate in things.
I know.
But the ending credit scene was... Do you want to describe what happened, or do you want to...
Okay, during the course of the film, Peter's talking to Ned, because Ned is a spider fanatic. He's a spider maniac. He's a big Spider-Man fan, and he's like, I'm just trying to figure out who he is so I can thank him. I know he's saved me a bunch of times, but I don't know who he is. So I created this app, Spider Tracker. And when you load up the app, it has the Spider-Man theme song, do-do-do, do-do-do. And people just log Spider-Man sightings. And so that app comes up a couple of times in the story. And the end credit is just a screen of the Spider Tracker app. And it's like Spider-Man sighting. And it's like, where is he? Location unknown. And it just keeps zooming out from Queens to New York to New York State to America to the world in the moon to further beyond that.
Yeah,
and
past the moon.
Past the moon. And then you just see a little Spider-Man sighting out in space. And it's like, Spider-Man will return. And it's like, well, no, duh. He's worked with the Avengers. You've got a big team-up movie coming, and I don't think you would have one of your main characters just be like, all right, guys, I know this is a multiversal threat, but I'm going to sit this one out. I just got my best friend back. We're going to build Lego Star Wars. Y'all got this, players. It's like, no, this isn't a solo movie. It's going to be Avengers Doomsday. Don't stay for the end credit scene.
Yeah, I wouldn't bother. If you want to see it, I'm sure that's online somewhere.
I think someone in the theater we were in took a video of it on their phone.
Yeah, the guy sitting in front of us. Like, he wasn't disruptive at all or anything, but he did pull out his phone for a video.
A very respected, part of the end credit scene.
Yeah.
Overall, I enjoyed this movie. Would definitely recommend seeing it in theaters. I would recommend buying it.
Yeah, it's something I would be willing to watch again. Like, if my friends wanted to go see it in the theater, I would definitely be down to, go see it in the theater again, and it's something I would definitely be willing to watch.
Okay. Anything else?
Yeah, I did have, not really complaints, but... Oh, did you have something to add?
I was going to say, hate sells, lay it on us. Complaints.
Again, it's not really a complaint. Two things about the scene where they crashed the wedding. As a wedding photographer, that gutted me. Seeing the cake get knocked over and everything. But also, as someone who's been to probably 100 weddings at this point, they're often, I feel like, inaccurately depicted in movies. And the scene where it almost looks like people are arriving at the reception that's outdoors, but also everyone's congregated inside and the bride is giving a toast. And it almost looks more like the ceremony, but it's obviously not the ceremony. But it's not laid out the way a wedding actually would be. Wasn't super accurate, I felt like, for a real wedding.
Okay.
And then also, whenever he's in the hospital, we see him get shot. We know he gets struck by the bullet, and we know there's a lot of blood, and we know he's in critical condition, but we don't really know anything about the injury. But obviously it was pretty bad. bad. And it makes it feel like he's just up and out of the hospital in like 2 days. It's an indeterminate amount of time.
I mean,
but
they had a lot of posters, graffiti, all that. I feel like he was probably in there for a week or two.
yeah, I would have liked to have seen a little bit, like, make that seem a little bit more difficult than it was.
Have some stubble on his chin.
I thought the whole Punisher at the hospital scene just felt like more like John Bernthal and Tom Holland actually hanging out than like Spider-Man and the Punisher. I didn't love it.
It wasn't terrible.
Yeah, it wasn't terrible, but it...
I will say this, not my favorite interaction of them
No.
in the movie.
Like, if it hadn't happened, the movie wouldn't be worse off for it.
Yeah. Again, why is NYPD just letting the Punisher, like, hang around? He just killed, like, 20 cops in Daredevil Born Again.
I think the reason was that because he wasn't the focus of this movie.
Yeah. Like,
That's why they're not after him.
yeah. Yeah, that makes sense, but at the same time, it's kind of annoying.
Yeah. I really didn't love his incorporation in the movie.
Yeah. All right. Anything else?
Can't think of anything, can you?
I can think of a lot of things, but they're not going to be relevant to the review.
Okay. Our cat's here with us now.
Yeah.
She joined us.
She's got nothing to say. She
got fed about 20 minutes late this evening because we had gone to see this, so
yeah.
she probably doesn't have anything positive to add.